This is AQA GCSE Chemistry, and it is from the 2018 Trilogy 2H Higher paper. And this is question 1. The whole of the question is going to come up on screen first. You can pause as you go and then review. So here's part 1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, and finally 1.8. So going back to the beginning, we've got 1.1 crude oil, a mixture of hydrocarbons. The hydrocarbons are separated by fractional distillation, and we've got the column here. Crude oil vapor, it's vaporized, passes up, and then each fraction will condense at a different level. Remember, longer chains with higher boiling points condense lower down the column, shorter chains with lower boiling points condense higher up. And it's that principle that allows us to separate crude oil into those useful fractions. 1.2, why do fractions separate? Well, we've already touched on that. It's that the fractions have got different boiling points. They do have different viscosity, melting point and flammability, but it's the boiling point that actually determines where they condense, moving up the column. 1.3, we've got an alkane molecule. We need to name it. So there are 1, 2, 3 carbons, and you have got to remember the root of the names of the first 4 alkanes: meth, eth, prop and bute. So it is prop, and because it's an alkane, it ends in alkane or ane. So propane is the name that we're looking for there. On to 1.4, methane, CH4 is an alkane. What is the general formula for alkanes? Well, let's take a look at a few examples. We've already got CH4 there. Let's put C2H6, C3H8 and C4H10. And we'll see if any of these follow the pattern. If C is N, H is N, that would mean C2H2, C3H3, C4H4. Well, that is incorrect. What about if it was CnH2n? Well, that would be C2H4, C3H6, C4H8, and that isn't the case either. If it was CnH2n minus 2, then that would be C2H2, because you're doubling the 2, then taking 2 away. It would be C3H4, and it would be C4H6, and it's clearly not the case. The general formula is something you need to know and learn and remember, and you can see it here. 4, double it and add 2 is 10. 3, double it and add 2 is 8. 2, double it and add 2 is 6. 1, double it and add 2 is 4. The correct answer is CnH2n plus 2. On to 1.5, alkanes burning oxygen balance the equation for methane burning. So I will always, for the combustion of hydrocarbons, follow the rule of Cho. I balance my carbons, then my hydrogens, then my oxygens. I've got 1 carbon, it's already balanced. I've got 4 hydrogens, I've got 2 hydrogens, so I need 2 H2O. And I've now got 2 plus 2, 4 oxygens, so I need 2 times 2, 4 oxygens on the left. 1.6, ethene is an alkene. What reagent is used to test for alkene? So it's one of the tests that you need to know A, how you do it, and B, what you would observe. The test for alkenes is bromine water. Bromine water will be decolorized in the presence of an alkene. We move on to 1.7. We've got a lot of information here about the amount of carbon dioxide produced, solid residue produced, sulfur dioxide produced in making 10,000 biodegradable plastic bags. It's part of a life cycle assessment. You have to know what we mean by the term life cycle assessment. A life cycle assessment is something that assesses environmental impact. And remember that when we assess that impact, we're thinking about the manufacture of the products, the ongoing use of the products, and the eventual disposal of the products. And finally, on 1.8, we are comparing the two methods. There are 4 marks in total, and it's following the leveled marking format. So on this one, you can be a level 2 or a level 1. And the indicative content that we're looking for is actually comparing that data. Burning 10,000 bags produces 10 kilograms more carbon dioxide than landfill. We can see that putting 10,000 bags in landfill produces 0.02 kilograms more of solid residue than burning. There are lots of these things here. We've got some more general ones. Landfill produces less CO2 than burning. Landfill produces more solid residue than burning. All of this information we can take by looking at the data and working through and comparing. And ultimately, it's then about making those judgments and making those comparisons to get to the 4 marks. And that takes us to the end of question 1.